everyone. So, I wasn't going to bring astrology in here, but we have so many things going on this week and for the next couple of weeks that it just seemed better to do it. So, welcome everyone, because this is all about forward movement, growth, and clarity, and you know I'm about that. So, if I can bring that to you, yep, that's what I'm doing. So, welcome everyone. My name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, astrology, hypnotherapy, and mediumship, spiritual advising to help you on your path, and now the author of my upcoming book series, Concepts Create Reality. So before I get on with the spread, we have like these big aspects again. I mean, we already had like this lunar and the solar eclipse, but we've got, because the planets are always moving, but we've got like Mars moving, we've got Mercury going direct, and we have this big full moon in Pisces. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about Mars movement. So Mars is going to move into Virgo, and it'll be there for about 6 weeks, which means wherever Mars was on your chart is now moving into a different house, right? So you're going to have movement, and you know, Mars is about energy, and Mars gives you that oomph. And I mean, a lot of people like to talk about Mars being war, but Mars is about giving you all that energy and that like oomph to do things, and that inspiration and that drive and that ambition to do things, right? So with it going into Virgo, it's going to make you like, because Virgo likes to organize and put their efforts into what's going to be, I don't know, worth their time, I guess. So, like, they're going to get gains out of it, right? So, with Mars going into Virgo, that's what you're going to be thinking, or that's the way you're going to be feeling. Like, I'm going to put effort in if it's worth it to me, if it's going to bring me gains. And that's okay. I mean, you should do that, right? Sometimes we need to do that. But it's going to be in different houses for different signs. So I'm going to go over that in each sign. But then we have Mercury going direct. And Mercury is going, it's moving to that, and it's going direct or station. So it'll be, so I'm sorry, Mars you'll feel for about 6 weeks. Mercury you're going to feel for about a week and a half, and it's going direct right on the point where we had the solar eclipse, right on that point. So it's like oomph. It's like a lot of all these things that have been delayed, and this miscommunication, and these things that you have been like working through, tweaking on. If you've been doing the work, like when it goes direct, it's just going to all of a sudden give you resolution to those things, right? So and it'll give you, so all these delays, it'll give you with your everyday that lower, I mean, I call it the conscious mind, but some people call it the lower mind. You know, there's the subconscious and the conscious mind. So all of that will start getting resolved. Those things, those things of where Mercury was like retrograde in your house, it's going to go direct, and those things are going to start resolving. Even if you've put a little work into it, if you've been tweaking, like I said, to do during retrograde, you're going to feel like the difference where all of a sudden things just start moving forward, right? And so you'll feel the effects of that for like a week and a half, week and a half. And then you have Mars going into, you know, the next house, which is probably going into the house where your Mercury was retrograde for each one of you, or each one of us. And so you're getting like all this forced forward movement, right? Now, the other thing too is this full moon in Pisces. So what does that mean? So Pisces already is like a very intuitive, psychic, hidden realm kind of thing, and with this full moon, which is new beginnings, right? It's also got Neptune in there. So the full moon is on Pisces, and then it has Neptune. So wherever that falls in your house, you're talking about like miracles and manifestations and magical stuff coming to you without any effort. Like, this stuff is already going to be given to you. This is on your path. So depending on which house it is, you should start like getting these things coming from nowhere, like coming from the air. Like all of a sudden you get these things, right? So it kind of depends on which house it falls in for you. But the Pisces is about connecting to your higher self and connecting to spirit, connecting to oneness. The only thing is when you get this full moon stuff, it has to come from your heart. Now, when I say your heart, there's a lot of people that love from their second chakra. Now, and I'm talking about your fourth chakra, for it to come from your fourth chakra. Now, I haven't talked a lot about chakras here, but, you know, I'll do that on my website. The second chakra, when you love from the second chakra, that's about attachment and greed and fear and loss. Like when you're loving somebody from fear because you're afraid that you're going to lose them, or because when you love somebody because you're like, well, they're mine, that's attachment. That's second chakra love. I'm talking about anything that you do in this full moon. If it's from your fourth chakra, if it's from unconditional love, it is just going to blossom. It has to come from your heart if you get inspired to do these things, okay? Because if it comes from the other, then there's going to be ramifications. Unfortunately, this is how we decided to live on this earth, with duality, okay? So, but the great thing is this full moon is just going to be bringing all these things in different people's houses. So, on to I hope I explained everything for each sign. I'm going to do each house, and I'll explain the houses and then how you'll be able to receive them, and then we'll do the love area. So, see you in a minute. All right, my beautiful Cappies, here we go. There's a couple things I wanted to say to you guys before. There were a couple of Cappies that said that, why didn't I do more Cappy videos or Capricorn videos? And I haven't neglected you guys. Are you guys feeling unloved? I don't want you to feel unloved. I don't know if you're not getting the messages or the notifications, but I want to say 2, maybe 3. I think one of them was like a paid content, but I did the weekend for you. I did one of the weekends. I did the monthly, and then I did the solar eclipse for you guys. So I'm not sure if you're not getting it. I'll put the link down below so that you can, I'll put the link to all the videos of yours down below, okay? So let's talk about these houses. Let's talk about what's going to be happening. We talked about what the full moon was. So the full moon for you guys is going to be in the 3rd house. So the 3rd house is about, I communicate. It's about communication, and it can be your siblings. It's your conscious mind. It's like your everyday stuff, your everyday learning. That's kind of what it is. So documents can be in here. Neighbors can be in here. Short trips can be in this house. Also, like the other part of it is that, you know, you can, this is where you can, like, people can complain and you complain in this house. So it's like your everyday kind of living stuff. So the great, and it could also be like information in here. So, oh wait, and your coworkers and like everyday businesses. Like if you have like a business, your everyday kind of goings on and learning from your business, that's all in this 3rd house. So with the beautiful full moon in Pisces, this means without effort, the full moon in Pisces is going to bless you with the connection and bring you positive gifts, knowledge to be able to move forward in things. So with the full moon, you'll get positive results. Okay. So you could have like, documents and information coming to you in a positive way. You could have your siblings, like if you've been in maybe neighbors or teammates or coworkers, like any of that. You could have like some positive gifts coming through them. But this is like stuff from nowhere. It's just going to come to you because of that Pisces full moon. So Pisces full moon is tomorrow on September 6th. We went direct with Mercury retrograde today. So Mercury was in your 9th house. And so it was retrograde in 9th house. So now it's going direct in 9th house. And then you have Mars coming into 9th house. Okay. So let's talk about the 9th house a little bit. So the 9th house is like, it's your beliefs, but it's like, it's where you learn about your beliefs and we believe. So your beliefs and their belief in conjunction with your belief. Does that make sense? So this is what the 9th house is about. This is about philosophy and teachings and travel. This could be like long distance travel, like foreign travel. Okay. This is the law. This is higher learning. So it looks like you were being like, you're going to be like moving forward in not just your everyday learning, but some higher learning too. That's kind of what it looks like being thrust forward. This is like your thirst for knowledge. This is where you're trying to figure out, where is my place in this world? What am I really doing? But what is everybody else really doing too? So you're like looking at yourself in this house and saying, what are my beliefs? What are my philosophies? What is my understanding? But also, what are those around me, those people around me, life itself, society, right? That's where this comes from. This is where you learn in this ninth house. It is ruled by Saggy, so but it's ruled by Saggy, so it's about like that far away philosophical thinking with very groundedness. Okay, so you're grounded in this philosophy and you bring it back to like the physical and your understanding. Okay, so with Mercury going retrograde there, you may have had some like processing. Actually, that's probably would have been what was happening, is like, because Mercury is that process of, our thinking and communication, right? So you may have had some like maybe you were going to do foreign travels and it got delayed. Maybe you were thinking of a project in a certain way and then it just sort of like wasn't going through, right? But now that it's going direct, you'll see like clarity in foreign travel, if that's what you're wanting. Doors should be opening for you with Mars in there too, because what's going to happen is Mercury goes direct and then Mars is going in there. So Mars is like that ambition and that not just inspiration, but it's ambition and drive, and it's going to give you the energy to do what it is that you're trying to do in this house, right? And again, it could be for teaching in the law, and like, so if you're like starting to go to school, or if you're going back to school, or maybe not even just school, but maybe a trade, or maybe like if you're in the metaphysics and you're starting a class, any of that, anything to do with that, you should be, the higher learning is what you're doing. So that should, like, anything that you try to do in this house is going to move forward. You're going to get progress from it, because now Mercury's direct and now Mars has come in here. Okay. So, but with the full moon in your third house, I kind of feel like some of you are going to get some like secret download or secret information, or something, like something's going to come through for you to give you clarity in these issues that you've been having in your daily life. And this has to do with the full moon in Pisces. So Pisces and Piscean way is really connected to source, really connected to the other realms. So they'll give them to you in dreams, and they'll give them to you in symbols. So synchronicities will work as well. So any of that, like, be aware of that, because that's coming through for you. Those are the gifts that Pisces and this full moon is giving you. And these gifts come from nowhere, just out of the blue. Something can happen in your daily life that you're like, wow, that really helped me. And now I can move forward, and now I can do what I want, what I've been thinking about. Okay, so that's what's going on with the houses. The full moon you'll feel again for like probably about a week and a half, maybe 10 days. Mercury is direct. You'll feel the direct for about 2 weeks, and then Mars is in this house for a month and a half, so like 6 weeks. So you're going to feel a lot of energy doing these things, okay? So let's get started. This is going to be your love forecast for September, all right? So let's see what's going on here, my beautiful Cappies. So you have the Two of Coins. This is your present position. And the Two of Coins is about balancing, like, I see this two ways. So balancing like what you want and what you actually are responsible for, right? And then others, it would be like balancing, well, it can be that way too. So what you want and what you're responsible for. So you're looking at your life, you're looking at these things, you're looking at your relationships, and you're like, well, I want it to go here, or I want this, so I'm going to work a little bit here, but I really have this responsibility, so I have to do this as well. And you Cappies are very, very, very responsible. You can be very responsible, even if an other sign would be like, no, I'm not doing it. You still will do it because you're loyal and faithful that way, right? So This looks like it's been in your now position in love. So it looks like you're trying to balance. Some of you, it's about, do I want, because some of you have come from a lot. And so you're like, you know, am I ready to open my heart again? I think I'm ready to open my heart again. But, you know, with Cappies, it's like a once in a lifetime deal. So it's really hard for them to do it twice. Like the real love, you know? Like there's levels of love and you understand that, but that deep love. So some of you are like trying to balance that. And others of you are saying, you know, I have this responsibility with my wife or with my husband or with my children or with my family, but I have these things that I want to do too, and I know that I can do both, and that's kind of what you're doing now. Okay, so what's crossing you is the moon. So this is Spirit's, I think it's this way, sorry. This is Spirit's advice in this situation, and their advice is, this always tells me, you see how the moon, if you can see it here, it looks nice here, but in here it's just glowing and it's beautiful, and it depends on where you look at it from, right? So where's your angle? Where's your perception? So when the moon comes up, it's about you looking at it in a better light, looking at it with a different eye. So these things that are going on in your love area, look at it, try to find the beauty in it again. Because there's beauty everywhere around you, but are you going to see it? Or are you going to be that hard-working Cappy that sticks their nose to the ground and just keeps going, right? Because you can do either one. But they're saying there's a way to do it where you're not so drained and you're not so overworked and you're not so just responsible, you know? And listen, I love Cappies and I admire you for being that responsible. But sometimes other people need to take up the responsibility as well. Okay. So I also see this in like your partnerships. For those of you that have someone, I see that you're feeling lost and this person is like, you know, we're going to do what we got to do. Right? That's kind of how I'm seeing this. And you're like, no, I know there's a better way. I know there's a better way. And this is like, nope, we're doing it this way. So that may be where you're trying to compromise as well, because I'm seeing that for like partnerships. And this could be in your business too. This could be in not just your romantic area, but your businesses and your families. Okay? It depends on where your love's at. And it can be more than one thing. So their advice is take another look at it with a better eye. Get into that vibration, center yourself. And you know how you do that? You start with a state of appreciation. Always when you want to raise that vibration, that's the best. That's what I teach. That's what I teach my clients. The fastest and easiest way to get into a better vibration is to start with appreciation. So appreciate the smallest things and then move from there to a little bit bigger, and that will get you into that vibration where you see things in a lovelier light, right? In a lovely light. Okay? All right. So it looks like you came from Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords, well, you can see she's not very happy, right? So this was about you being in your head, being stuck in your head, or feeling like you freeze. And listen, you get so overwhelmed with responsibility and the day-to-day stuff that you can freeze. And you're like, it's just too much. I can't. Or, you know, so like you just keep thinking about it and keep thinking about it, keep mulling over it. And then you get stuck and you freeze, right? So it looks like you were able to get out of that and into this and finally say, all right, look, because if you guys remember, well, if you've never seen me before, I had a husband for 20 years who was a Capricorn, loved me and I loved him from the day we met to the day he passed on. Just very loyal, faithful, would do anything. So I know him. Like I know Cappies, not every Cappy, I don't know, but like I understand Cappies. So he, like, I'm just thinking of this, that reminded me, he would finally get into a space where he was like, all right, that's enough. We're going to do this, right? And that's what I feel like happened to you guys is like, you know, you came from this where you were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then finally you're just like, nope, we're going to do this. This is how it's going to be. And that's kind of what you're doing now. That's what you came from. Okay. So, For your fourth position, this is really interesting because in your fourth position, when I was looking at this, I was like, who's this? Because you guys are the Cappies, and I'm like, I know this is the love area, and I know some of them are going to have, partners come in, and because it's a king to me means it's that sign, right? Now, when it's a queen, it means it's that character, that characteristics. They have the characteristics of that sign. But a king, usually to me, means that it's that sign. So I don't know if there's Cappy and Cappy going on or Cappy and Virgo going on. I feel a lot of Virgo and Cappy going on. But this person is very stable. And so in the first couple of weeks, this first 2 weeks of September, I feel like this person comes in for you. For those of you that are open and available, this person comes in, and I'm feeling Virgo. I mean, I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. I'm human. I could be wrong, but I'm feeling a lot of Virgo. I'm barely feeling any Taurus if there's Taurus. Yeah, I feel some Taurian. I do feel Taurian a little bit, but I mostly see like Cappy on Cappy and Cappy on Virgo, which is kind of interesting. But the other thing too is this person can be ascending Capricorn or ascending Virgo or ascending Taurian, right? But whoever this is, they're very stable. They're like you. They mean business. They've worked hard. Look at his eyes. Look at the wrinkles, the strain in his eyes because he's worked so hard. But look how beautiful he looks. I mean, he's just gorgeous. Look at him. He's kind of sexy, isn't he? So he has come through a lot, and he is no joke, and he is ready, and he has his heart open. He has worked very hard to get to the space that he's at, and I feel like for some of you, you meet this guy, this man, and I feel like for some of you men, you meet this woman, and it kind of shocks you. That's what I'm feeling for the men. Like you're meeting this woman, you're like, wait, that can't be real, and it can be real. You're like, no, there's something wrong, or there's like, I'm gonna wait, right? Don't get into that where you're gonna wait. If you have been working hard to get to this space, if you have known me for the last two years that I've been on YouTube with my other channel, Your Indigo Path, and you've been working hard at this stuff, then if this person comes in, don't get in your head about there's not a real person that can come in like that. They can. It just means that you're finally at the same vibration, and they've worked hard to get to you like you've worked hard to get to this space, okay? So that's for some of you. For others of you, this is your partner already who is very loyal, very faithful, very responsible, works very hard, and understands the beauty of the everyday. Like, love is not just the romantic thing. Love is actually putting work into something like that, like a relationship, right? That's who this person is. And it looks like you'll be spending this quality time with them. For others of you, it looks like this is you. You can be in this element in the next 2 weeks, and you know how you Cappies are. When you are on it, you are on it. You're on fire. You will just manifest whatever you want. Like nothing's going to stop you. And that's what I feel like. And it may be because your Mars is in the ninth house, because I just feel like this is how it's going to go. This is what I'm going to do. And that's that. That's kind of how I feel. Like it honestly is reminding me of my late husband, because he was so sweet. He would let me kind of do whatever. And I was a brat. I was young, remember? When I was young, earlier in our years. But listen, when he put his foot down, that was it. Like, done. So I would be like running around like a brat, and then finally he had to say, that's enough. And I'd be like, okay. So that's kind of what that feeling I'm getting of, like, you're just done. You're going to like, this is like, all of a sudden you're like, no, this is the way it's going to be. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is how this is what's going to come out of it. That's what I'm feeling. Okay. So in your fifth position, this is from your higher self. I always ask your higher self, what is the one message they want to bring through to help you move forward in love? Look at you. You have that 10 of Cups. They want you to know that that bonding is here. They want you to know that your life is unfolding to this space. They just need you to be in a better space, in have a different perception, and they understand that you get bogged down with the everyday stuff, but your time is here. So for others of you, they want you to know that if you've been going through like the family issues, sibling issues, some of you romantic issues too, and business. I'm seeing business issues. They want you to know that this month is a time of celebration. Things are going to be happening for you for that time of celebration. Not just that, but you're going to be inspired too. I do see the inspiration in here, and they want you to know that that's here. That's what you'll be sort of overall feeling like, okay. Because I know right now you're probably like, no, this is how it's going to be. But over the month, they want you to know that this is what's happening. You're going to like get a little softer and see a little better and be in a better space, okay? Because you did it. You came from here. Good for you. All right, my gorgeous ones. In your 6th position, this is the later half of the month. So it looks like because you've done so much work before, and the later half of the month, you'll just be planning some things. This is the Palace of Wands. So those of you that don't know this deck, the Palace is a state of mind to me. So, and it being Wands means, you know how a fire sign is, where they'll like a Leo or an Aries, they'll like start thinking about and planning, like, this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do, right? Like, these are the actions I have to take to get what I want. These are the actions I have to take to have that relationship come about. These are the actions I have to take to have my businesses go through. These are the, like, that's what a fire sign will do. And so it's about action, but you'll be thinking, this is your state of mind. So, and I kind of feel like it's that Mars in there. It's that Mars in your 9th house. It's going to give you a lot of energy, which is what you're needing. So it looks like towards the second half of the month, if you meet this person, it looks like you'll just be planning some things, because I know you Cappies like to take it slow. You'll have fun. It'll be exciting. There'll be some spontaneity. There will be spontaneity, but it looks like this is more about planning for you. And that's what you'll be doing the later half of the month. Okay. Now, don't think that just because I put this one down that that's the only thing that's happening, because some of you might get some surprises in here. That's what I'm feeling too. So in your 7th position, this is your fear. And I see this 2 ways. So you have the 6 of Cups. So for some of you, because this can be a karmic card to me. This can be that long lost love from another lifetime, right? Or this can be a past love from this lifetime. So some of you, your fear is, will I ever be in that solid relationship again? Because I know what it's like. I feel it. I know it. I know it. That's how Cappies are. I know what I know, right? And so there's somewhere deep inside you that knows that there is one for you. And I know that you have worked and you've had some trauma and you've had life that's gotten you down, and you've been hurt, you've been taken advantage of, and it's crazy what y'all have gone through. So you're like, but even so, I know that there's one. I know that he or she is there. And so your fear is, will that ever come about? And it will. A fear is there to remind you what you want and don't want. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. Now focus on what you want, right? So for others of you, you're feeling, I'm fearful that that person from the past, or someone like that person from the past, is going to come in and do the same thing. Again, this is a fear. And let me say this. If you've already mastered that lesson with a person, then when someone like that tries to come in your life, you're going to know immediately. Why? Because you know what that vibration is, right? So unless you're still in that vibration and they come in, then you won't know the difference. But if you're out of that vibration and then they come in, then you'll know, oh no, that's that vibration. I don't like that, right? You'll know immediately. You'll know what it looks like. You'll know what it feels like. You'll know. So it's just a fear. It's there to remind you of what you don't want. Okay. So I hope that helps. In your 8th position, this is the way a loved one will be viewing you and dealing with you. So this is really interesting, because if it's this new person that comes in, if you're open, available, and ready, right? And this person comes in, this person is like, no, I told you, they're no joke. And so they're going to lay it out on the table, and they're going to take charge if need be. And they're going to say, look, like, I don't know if you guys have ever, some of you guys I'm sure have experienced this, where you meet somebody and you just know that's my husband, that's my wife, like that's just it. But you don't know until that actually happens, right? So, or that person comes in and you're like, nope, that's somebody special in my life. I don't know why yet, but I know. That's kind of how this person comes in. Like, they're like, I don't know who this is. I just know there's someone special and we're going to have something. That's kind of how, and so this person is like not afraid. They don't have a fear about it. They don't have any issues. They're going to take charge and do what's necessary. And it's going to be the way that you're wanting and needing to be loved. And let me say that again. It's going to be the way that you're wanting and needing to be loved. If it's anything less than that, then that's not it. Okay? So that's the way they'll be dealing with you. That's the way they will be seeing you as well. Because if you have an open heart, they'll have the open heart too. Okay? I hope that helps. Let me say this also, for those of you that don't have anybody, and this is the universe speaking to you, they're saying, take charge, start taking the action and making the steps to where you want to go, and we'll open it up for you. You tell us which way you want to go, okay? Because some of you get into this, well, I don't know if I want somebody, but I do know that I want somebody. And I don't know if I want somebody now, but I do know that I want somebody. And so you go back and forth, and they're just saying, it's okay. You don't have to have somebody right now. Just take some steps in the direction that you want to go. Okay. So in your 9th position, this is your hopes and dreams, but I call it the outer realm coming in. So this is the energy coming in. So you have the 6 of Swords. That is major, major stability coming into your life. That is, look at the light that he's shining. Look at his warrior face because he's been through so much. Look at all these experiences. Like he's like ready. He's going to have to come to a space where he gets calmer because he's so used to being ready for stuff to happen, right? So he's going into calmer waters now. It is time for him to rest. It's time to be more stable. And that's what's coming in for you. That's what they want you to know. Okay? Good for you, my Cappies. Da, 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 da. Now, in your 10th position, this is the overall outcome of what you'll be dealing with in the month of September. You have the 2 of Cups. I see this a couple of ways because some of you, your love is in your businesses, your love is in your family, your love is in your spouses, your love is in your romantic area. So throughout the month of September, they want you to know that there's bonding going on. There's going to be understanding with your siblings, with your family, with your spouses, with your longtime partners, with your dates, with your friends. Like there's going to be this understanding for a lot of you, okay? And then for some of you who are single and ready and willing, when this person comes in, you'll know them because you're going to have this understanding that you get each other physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay? It's like, I know this person. I don't know why I know this person, but this person feels like I know them, right? That's the type of thing that's going to be going on throughout the month of September. Okay? And that's even for those of you that have long-time relationships. You're going to get back to that space where you're understanding each other again, where you're really, really connecting. Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful, it's not the start because you've already started it. You already put everything into play. It's more of we already started this, now we're coming back together. Now we're coming together and we're going to grow from that. All right. So my gorgeous ones, I hope this helped. Have a wonderful, wonderful September. Thank you so very much for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and making this channel what it is. We're already at 11,000 at 11,000 at 5.5 weeks. Like, that's crazy, and I couldn't do this without you. I will put the links below to the other videos because I have not forgotten about you. I love you dearly. Bye.